What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of a Stoked podcast, creative talk of creative people. I am Javon Stokes. I am your host, as well as writer, artist, and creator for Visually Stoked Media, with such beautiful, wonderful titles such as Heat and Strong, and as well as some new ones coming up. But we'll talk about that as I get closer. I'm sorry if it looks so grainy and weird. My ring light died on me like last week. And so now I got to get a new one. That ring light only lasted me like less than a year. Let's see, 79 episodes. I wasn't using the ring light for all of them. So less than a year. Sucks. But it's always good to see you guys. Thank you guys for, again, showing up. I always appreciate everybody who tunes in either live or later on. So I do appreciate you guys. Quick note, as always, letting you know where I'll be for Heat Wave 2023 tour. I will be at End of the River Comics and Collectibles Convention, smaller convention in Enfield, Connecticut. So if you're in the Connecticut region and you're in the Enfield area, come see me, come get some good comics, get some good stuff, see some cool comics. I'm sure they're going to be quite a bit. And then next week, there won't be a show. I will be en route, that's the word, en route to FS Con convention started by Michael Watson. I will be on my way to Columbus, Ohio, so I will not be able to be online. But you know what? It's getting towards the end of the year. I've got some cons coming, and we're going to see some new things here and there. Hopefully, a new entrance if I can get about a week to do it, which is probably not going to happen. But we're not going to hold on. We're not going to keep our guest waiting. She is currently, and I don't know why I'm clapping. I just do feel like doing it. She's currently running an awesome Kickstarter campaign for a comic book from Worthy Chaos. Jesus, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I'm sorry. From Worthy Chaos Revelations, writer, very, very talented young lady. Can't wait to talk to her. Y'all, everybody, welcome Corissa Grant.
Hi.
How are you?
You should have eaten.
So I think last thing my wife said to me is, I don't feel like cooking. And then she took the baby and got in the car and left.
See, I said the same thing, but then I ordered a pizza. So
I'm assuming she'll come back with some form of Chick-fil-A or maybe she went and got some. My son loves Sbarro pizza.
Nice. Me too.
Sbarros.
I
like it too.
You're in Connecticut, right?
Yes.
That's where I lived for like 20 years.
Okay, where about?
So I lived in Danbury, Bethel area, and then I lived near Waterbury.
Okay.
But it was Thomaston, but not a lot of people know what Thomaston existed because I didn't know what it was until somebody told me. So
no, I'm in Windsor, close to Hartford. I was born and raised in Hartford, so
someone already asked a question.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. We're getting started. Let's go. Danny, give us a minute, man. Can I talk to the guest first? Can I get a chance? Thank you, Danny. I appreciate you.
Quick.
But anyway, welcome to the show.
Thanks
I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on. My show is a lot more casual. It's very free flowing. Awesome. So I know you got your Danny said, my bad. You got your poster behind you, so you're ready. But we don't want to get there first. We got to go back. We got to come on back. And I'm going to start off, as I always do, with every guest. What drew you to arts? What drew you to comic books? When did your love of comics begin?
So I loved comic books in the 90s. I was a teenager, and my brother was big into comics. He liked all of them. But I was drawn to Ghost Rider and loved Ghost Rider, the Danny version, but I loved Spirits of the Vengeance. I loved all the crossover. I have them all still from
Me too.
the 90s.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can show it. I got half of the Mackie run. I got the first two trades plus the Spirits of Vengeance crossover.
I think I started. So I started before Spirits of Vengeance. Like I think it was just starting because I did get number one. I started Ghost Rider. I think at issue 7 because I have the first trader back, which is 1 through 8, I think.
Yeah.
So I think I started at 7 or 8. And yeah, I love it. But then I kind of got out of it, when my brother went to college and I didn't really go anymore. So I hadn't really touched it until I don't really do mainstream now. I'm more indie than anything. But to making comics was not intentional. I played Resident Evil 2 and became utterly obsessed with it. And then when I discovered role playing online, I role played as Claire Redfield for 15 years.
Okay.
Um, and it's not the kind of role play like tabletop. It's just you write your story. And being dyslexic, I actually started as a one-liner, and I did that for 2 years. And then the next 2 years, I built up, did like para, and then now I could do 6,000 words in a sitting. I think I had a rush before I came on here. I had like 30 minutes. I wrote 1,200 words. So what happened was I had this one story that I held on to. It's about an angelic weapon and an angel. And I held on to it for 11 years. And I role played with a lot of people. Some of them for 3 years. They were amazing writers, but for whatever reason, I did not feel that they were right for the role. And then I found my co-writer, Jessica, and we started role playing. And within less than 24 hours, I was like, do you want to take a role? I never give out roles. And she's like, I never take roles, but sure. So I sent her a 4,000 word starter, and we have not stopped writing since. So after we had, I think at the point that we decided it was definitely 5 novels of this series was done, and I think half of the spinoff was done. So we had about 8 novels written. So I was like, hey, we should probably do something with this. So we got an editor, and because it's written in role play format, you'd have to merge it all and lose half of it. And we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to ruin the story no matter what it would get for us. And so I decided to print it just for us. And I said, I'll just print us 2 copies through Lulu's, and I'll hire an artist on Fiverr or Upwork or whatever. And then we'll have a cover just for us. And while I was searching for the covers, they were all kind of cartoony. And as role players, we had actors in mind. So I asked her, do you want cartoony or do you want, realistic? And I'll keep looking. She said, cartoony's fine. And then like a light bulb went off. And I was like, well, if you don't mind cartoony, I think we could do a comic book. And then I said the very infamous words, how hard could it be? And it's the hardest thing I've ever done. So, yeah. So now we have 100 plus issues written, 45 for this series, 40 for the spinoff, 10 or so for each of the series 2, and then we have a prequel. We're still writing, and we don't plan to stop anytime soon.
Wow.
But 1 year in comics will be this Tuesday on Halloween. And we technically have 10 issues done, but 7 is this series because we redid 1. I didn't like one of the other one, and I have 1 for the spinoff that's kind of like, I call it a sneak peek. It's 32 pages, but yeah. So we are on issue 7 right now of Redemption. So
you've been in comics for a year and you've done 6 issues?
4 days, less than a year. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot, man. A lot of people, one of the things that I've noticed and learned about comics, especially indie comics, is how infrequently people make it to issue 3.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing.
I have a very it's passion and it's obsession, and I really was making this for me, and I'm grateful other people love it. And I don't have a lot of money, especially now, but I'm very determined to get this series done. So 7 is live now. It's the last issue of book 1. However, 8 is actually already done. and 9 is halfway done. So, and book 2 doesn't release till January 8th. So I don't even need them till January 8th, but I want to get ahead because my artist is brand new. This is 7, yeah. My artist is brand new, and I was actually the first paid gig that he had. So I know he's going to be popular one day, and I want to get ahead. So when he's slacking behind, it'll be I'll still be able to do it. So we release every other month. And if I thought people could afford it, I would do it every month.
So you release a book every other month. Wow.
Yep. The only delay is December's Christmas, so it's delayed for a couple weeks. But yeah, it's pretty much every other. Sometimes it's sooner. My last campaign before this one was only 3 weeks before it started because I wanted to end on Halloween.
So so you do a campaign for every book and then you release?
So my very first campaign, because of the way it worked, it was 1 through 3, and then every other month after that, we did 1. So the first one was 3, and now we've done 1 every other month. So
you
yeah,
do a Kickstarter campaign every other month.
Yep. And I fulfill half within a day, and then the rest within 5 to 10 days. So I pay extra to get it printed in 6 days, 2 to 6 days. And everything's fulfilled and done. And yeah, you'll get your books within about 10 days. Most people, it's not this one though. This is 1 through 5, just so you know.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Like I am legitimately kind of stupefied. Because I know how much work goes in, that goes into doing the Kickstarter. And if I were to do one every other month,
I do. I work on the next Kickstarter page while mine is live. So right now the next one's done, or partially done, and it'll be finished this weekend because I'm waiting for something to arrive to launch it. And then I will be working on book 2, chapter 1, which will start January 8th. And yeah, so yeah, this is issue 7.
I am thoroughly impressed. I gotta tell you.
Thank you.
That it's a lot of work.
Yeah, my artist is really fast too, so that kind of helps. And for anyone that doesn't know, a quick summary of Redemption.
Let's do it. Get into it.
It's Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Supernatural in the town of Silent Hill in the world of Resident Evil with Evil Dead and Good Omens thrown in. It follows angel descendant Seraphina and demon descendant Draven as they try to survive against all of the monsters and stuff that their fathers throw at them. They don't know their fathers are there, and they don't know that they're not human, but we do because we could see through the eyes of the fathers. Now, the fathers are after an angelic weapon that Seraphina was created from that has the power of souls. And the only way to activate it is to kill Seraphina and take her soul and activate the weapon with it. And then they can tip the scales of the war in heaven or hell's favor. Now, the father wants it for another reason, but he's using the war as an excuse to get heaven's resources. So they're at war, and those are the fathers. So Draven's father's on the left and her father's on the right. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
this very deep mythology there.
I've done a lot of research. I have the entire story is in my head. So even what's not written, I already know the origins of it. I know where people come from, where they're going, and everything. We're working on a issue 0, which will be like some behind the scenes of what other characters are doing and thinking while our characters are doing what they're doing. And this issue is larger. It's 38 pages. The actual paper is 80-pound glossy. It is not a light book. All of them are 28 to 38, except for one, which is 24 pages, which is the normal average of a regular comic. However, that's issue 5. That's my shortest one. The rest are at least 28 of story. It's not like extras or whatever. So yeah. We have a lot of merch. I am called the Queen of Merch. I did not make up the name, but I like it. That one sold out, but I forgot. I still have to put the sold out sticker on it. 3 tiers are sold out right now. That one of the plushies, and a handmade statue are all sold out. And we have 3D statues. Those are plushies. These are all handmade. There's one Anubis left. There's 2 birds left. The Hellhound is sold out. However, there is going to be another one in book 2. We only do 1 or 2 tops per campaign, really. There's 1 Anubis left. There's the one that's sold out. Then we have 2 other handmade statues. And yeah, everything's unique. All the plushies are created and designed by us. And we love plushies. We love merch.
I see.
And yeah, so the story starts out a little different. We also have a coloring book and pins there, as you can see. We also have a song. So when you listen to the video, the song that you hear was a song performed by Permissible Indulgence that did the lyrics and everything. You can get the song. The lyrics are on the page, but you can get the song as an add-on for $3. You get the vocal version and the instrumental version. There's another 3D statue that is only 1 inch. It is an RPG miniature. So to show you, so my last host, he didn't like the pace of it. He read the first 4 and he said it's too fast. It is. It's literally chaotic. He didn't like it. He says it's too fast. And I was like, well, it evens out, but the first 2 issues are incredibly fast. They're very chaotic. They go to a town that merges with hell and they get trapped there. That's the spinoff, by the way. It's black and white. It's just a taste of the spinoff. But anyway, so literally issue 1, to give you an idea of how chaotic it is. Seraphina and Draven, it's a flashback of them being as teenagers, and they want to run away together to get away from their abusive parents. So on the night they plan to run away with each other, her brother gets possessed by a demon and murders her parents, which she walks in on. She runs away from him, gets critically injured, and calls Draven and tells him not to come to the house because her brother's trying to kill her. So of course he runs right to the house. He goes in the front door. She crashes out the back window. He slips on her blood, calls her name. She turns around and gets hit by a car and taken to another city and is in a coma for months. And he's arrested for the murder of her and her family. So for 10 years, they're separated, and she trains as a supernatural hunter and he trains as an assassin, and they each think the other one's dead. The only problem is that the angels and demons can't have the weapon because 1, he has it, and 2, it can only activate when they're together. So they coordinate and trap them in this town, merge it with hell, and now they're in a survival to try to get out of this town and figure out what they're doing. So book 1, issue 1 through 7, is them in this town, and book 2 is them in a trapped in the haunted asylum that they run to. So each book is connected and it flows together, but they're kind of different environments. So book 2 is the haunted asylum, which has giant salamanders, zombies with straitjackets, and vampire chameleon bats, all this stuff. And book 3 is 10 issues of them, like Resident Evil 2, trapped in a city with zombies. And they team up with 2 other survivors, and they're trying to get out of the town. The virus is something unique and they don't know what it is, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
So it sounds like you like to you want to give people as much content as possible.
Yes, there's a lot
per
in each
show,
issue.
per episode.
Oh yeah,
episode
there's a lot.
per comment.
Yeah, there's a lot, and book 1 is very action packed and very exciting. However, 2 is actually more chaotic, with them running from everything you could possibly think of, including man-eating Venus flytraps and stuff. So there's like a lot going on. But there's character development too. You have the 2 characters that are soulmates. So to tell you a little bit about the fact that makes our story very unique is there's a lot of co-writers out there. However, ours is a little bit different because we're co-writers of a role play. I write the story first, and I write it in Seraphina's point of view. I do all her speech, her thoughts, her actions. However, I don't write anything Draven. I send her my chapter, and she writes it again in Draven's point of view. He answers what she said. She writes what he was thinking and everything. So when you're reading the 2 speeches of the 2 characters, they are completely different people writing them, and that's what gives them their unique personality. And you can tell when you're reading it that they're not the same people. They have a uniqueness to them. Seraphina's like me. She talks nonstop and rarely thinks, whereas Draven thinks all the time and rarely talks. And we do have thought bubbles. My letter tried to do boxes, and I said, no, we have to do thought bubbles. because traditionally, thought bubbles were exposition wise back in the day. However, ours is to get inside the character's
Right.
head because we wrote it as a novel. And the best part about a novel is to get what they're thinking about. And we want you to understand the struggle of the characters, thoughts and actions and why they do certain things and how hard it is for them to do what they do. So yeah, we definitely have more thought bubbles than most people would on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a few influences, Supernatural, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm assuming that you are a horror fan.
Yes.
You
Yes.
are a fan of horror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each issue has an Easter egg from a horror movie, game, generally from the 80s or 90s. And whoever finds them when the hardcover comes out, which will be issues 1 through 7, whoever finds them all and posts it first gets actually one of our 3D statues for free. So it's kind of like a little contest.
Okay.
But
Do
some of
you,
them are blatantly obvious, while other ones are incredibly difficult.
okay. Do
So,
you
yeah.
now kind of bringing it back a little bit? Where did you have somebody that kind of helped you with your creative journey regarding like helping you write, are you all self-taught, like just kind of figuring
Self-taught.
out as you go?
Self-taught. Yeah, I mostly failed uh, English due to the dyslexia, and I didn't know I was dyslexic when I was a teenager. So I didn't fail English. I failed spelling a lot. But yeah, I never would have considered writing ever. Had I not started role playing, I would have never written this. Um,
Did you have
so
any writers for comics that you did like to read? Are there any writers that you at least enjoy their reading and maybe it influences you a bit?
oh yeah, James O'Barr from The Crow.
Okay,
Um,
okay, okay.
I actually used to draw from and sketch from the graphic novel. And I held on to that graphic novel for 30 years. And 2 months ago, I got to finally meet him and have him sign it. And I said, I've been waiting 30 years for this. And he said, well, I'm glad I didn't die on you. And I was like, me too.
I got to
And
meet him this year. I don't remember which con it was at, but I did get to meet him very, very briefly. But yeah,
yeah, yeah, I really, if I could have anyone do a cover, it would be him. I have a lot of covers. I spent a fortune on covers. I don't know a lot. I spend a lot of money on covers, but not as much as a lot of people do. However, for book 2, I got the bright idea to get covers of done by artists that worked in the stories that I liked. So, chapter 1 in January is actually done by Jeremy Rampart, that is the interior artist of Resident Evil comic book. He did a phenomenal cover. And it was colored by Dave Kemp, which did some coloring on Spawn and other comics like that. And then book issue 2 is actually Carl Moline, who worked
I know.
did the,
Yep, Carl
yeah,
Molina. I know Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yep.
Vampire Slayer, yep. And then
I think I met him too.
yeah, I was supposed to meet him on Sunday and he couldn't make it to the con, so I was very upset because I was only going for him.
Which
Uh,
con was this at?
it was Chattanooga in Tennessee.
Oh, is that where you guys? Is that where you are?
I'm in Tennessee.
Oh,
Um, so he was gonna bring my inking there, but he wrote me and said he wasn't gonna be there. So he's issue 2 of book 2, and then book 3 is the Evil Dead Army of Darkness comic book interior writer Kevin Sharp did one of the covers. I'm trying to now still get Supernatural, which one is really busy and says they don't have time, but I'm just gonna keep bugging him like your guy does until he answers me. And then two others haven't answered. And I've been trying to get Tristan Jones, who did Silent Hill Downpour, but he hasn't gotten back to me either. So unfortunately, I haven't gotten those 2 yet. But hopefully
yeah.
someday.
I can see how you pay a pretty penny for your
Yes,
covers. But you know what though?
worth it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's probably worth it because these are all amazing artists, and
Oh, if you
they're
see the art for let me see if I can send it to you. If you see the art for the Resident Evil Jeremy, he's working on my next one for the hardcover cover, and it's already phenomenal. So there's the one from him. If I don't know if you want to show it or you can just see it later, but it looks phenomenal.
Wow, that is really good.
Yeah, he did a great job.
I'll show it. Keep talking. I'll get it loaded up.
So for this issue, you can't just jump into this issue, obviously, because you wouldn't know what's going on. However, for those that just want to pop in and take a test of it, I actually, unlike other Kickstarters, I offer issue 1. You can get, isn't that gorgeous? You can get issue 1 as a PDF for $5. You can get issue 1 printed, and it's $10 and comes with a lot of extras. And also, you can get anything in the back issue. So if you just want 1 and 2, you can get in the back issue. There's also a mini tier that's 1 through 3 for $25. There's a ketchup tier PDF, which is $20. You get technically 14 PDFs because it's 7 colored and 7 in black and white. Also, we passed our first stretch goal, so you actually get 20 other issue 1 PDFs.
Wow.
So that you get a lot for $20 or $5 even. And then we have a ketchup tier that's printed and it's discounted because it was a lot of comics and I felt bad. So you get 1 through 7 printed, plus all the PDFs, plus all the extras it comes with, like buttons and stickers and all that, for $59.
Okay.
So
if you guys are watching, the link is below. You want to go, you want to support. It's already she's already met her goal, so you are going to get your books.
Oh, it's printed anyway. This is the 7 printed, and this is the metal cover. So
you don't even have to wait.
I do not start Kickstarters unless I have it in hand and make sure the quality is good and that it's ready to ship. The only reason why some people have to wait the 10 days is I don't buy variants ahead of time because I don't know how many I need. But I do pay extra for the 2 to 6 days. So generally I get them out within 5 days. They usually arrive on Friday for some reason, and they're shipped out all Saturday. So
those lightning rush orders, this bad. Yeah. If you don't know, people, you have a window of time that you can order your books. So it's like 14 days. Well, it's different I know for me, it's like 14 days, and
you don't get paid for 14 days. If that's what you're saying. For Kickstarter,
you don't pay extra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was talking about the
Comic Well Springs, it's 2 to 6. Then it's 7 to 13, and then 14 plus, which screwed me over the first time, and I will never do it again because it was like 3 months.
Really?
So I do.
I don't think I've ever done it. Every time I have to do it, it's always 2 to 6. Always.
Yeah.
And so I always wonder, like, how much money am I losing? But then in my mind, if I try it at 14 and I don't get it for who knows how long, then I'm gonna end up losing out on money because then I won't have books. So it's always like which one do you want to do? And then you have to, and what I would like to do is to do the 2 to 6.
Yeah.
But not have to do the 2-day, 3-day, overnight. Like, that's where I can save some money.
I usually do the ground shipping, which it winds up being 2 days. So it's not really a big deal.
Sometimes I've gotten burned.
They always change it. Whatever it is, expect it 1 day later. So for anyone that doesn't know, when it comes to Kickstarter, you don't get paid for 14 days. However, I don't wait. As soon as the payments go through, I actually order it that day when it ends. I think my last Kickstarter ended on a Monday. I ordered it an hour later. I got all my books that Friday, and they all went out on Saturday. So you don't have to wait. I'm a very impatient person, so I just figure that everyone else is impatient. Not only that, I have Kickstarters so soon that the new people need their comics to make sure that they like it. The electronic or digital goes out the hour of. So, and generally, every tier has a digital for free. So whatever you're getting, everyone gets a digital no matter what, which is great. Always check the Kickstarters too, because I always check the add-ons. There's tons of add-ons, all the variants, all the back issues, all the PDFs. We've got 3D statues. We have the hats, the songs, stickers, buttons, other things. There's a lot back there. So,
Okay, all right.
well, a lot of people don't check add-ons,
That's all right. That's all
but
right.
usually I don't either. But I started when I started making Kickstarters.
I never really get to that point when I'm doing Kickstarter. Let me rephrase. When I'm supporting Kickstarters, I do so many that I always do like the first one or two
Yeah.
because I forget. Like people who watched the show before have heard me say, like, I will get it. I will support a Kickstarter and then forgot that I supported it. And then a month later, the money comes out my account. I'm like, the hell is it? What did I
Yeah,
do?
I like Kickstarter. However, there's a couple of things that they could do better, and I put it down in every survey they make me fill out. One, I think funds should be taken out right away. For a couple of reasons. One, most people think that they are taken out anyway. I had people saying, I get paid next week, so I'll do it next week. Well, the funds don't get taken out for a month, so you could technically do it. But also, when the Kickstarter ends, you're not guaranteed that money. We've had 14 fail, and I have to go track these people down and get them. And twice, my very first two campaigns, my first one had a non-payment of $400, and the other one had a payment. The second one had a payment of $300 non-payment. The other thing they should do is you should not be able to back out the last 24 hours. It's very frustrating the last 24 hours. I had a friend have somebody back out at 37 seconds. I don't know what. And the other one is it should take your address. I should not have to ask for an address. You obviously need your address. Like you're a regular backer. It should just automatically.
Well, I can see why that because if you book if I let's say I back your Kickstarter, but I only want the digital copy, then you don't necessarily need my email. I mean my address.
Yeah.
But there needs to be a way that like if you do this and this doesn't require any,
yeah.
then you know what I mean. Like then you
Oh no,
should
I understand.
force like yeah, you shouldn't
I
have to
have
like yeah.
three that I still do not have for the last year. I still don't have I don't have addresses. They didn't fill out. They paid. I have three that are sitting on the shelves. One of them $124. And it's just they paid and they've backed like 7,000 others. So I know they know what they're doing. I emailed them. I found them on Facebook. I messaged them. Nothing.
I will make one effort to track you down and tell you, and then I'm done. It's because it's just too much to do.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
And just to go through the process, like, when you send out the emails, hey people, fill out this survey, and then after it goes like a month into it, and you're trying to fulfill everybody's, and that one or two people just don't do it. I think no, it wasn't one time. I think I said, all right, this is your first warning. This is your second warning. I'm done. And then I just move on. Uh, and generally if they come up to me later and they're like, hey, I didn't do such and such, I'll be like, look, I gave you the books. Like if it was like you did a t-shirt or something and that t-shirt is now sold because it's Kickstarters are a lot. Which is why I don't like doing them.
I get made fun of in a good way because I'm in a lot of chats and a lot of groups. It's a very supportive community. I'm very lucky to have a lot of fellow indie creators back me and all that stuff. So they always say after Kickstarter they need like 3 months to decompress.
Oh
and
yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, all right, well, the next day mine goes into pre-launch and I launch it 1 month later and we're at it again. And they're like, how do you do it? I was like, I don't know. And I'm a very lazy person. So I don't understand. I guess my passion for the story outdoes the laziness because I am extremely lazy. But
because I'll do a Kickstarter. Like the last Kickstarter I did, I was done. I was like, I need a break. I
do 20 to 40 shows per campaign. So that's the most tiring part.
Oh, but see, I like that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I like it,
I
but it's so
love going to
stressful.
cons and
Yeah.
doing them and events and everything. I would rather do that and make my money that way than the Kickstarter way.
No, I hate cons. I hate cons. I hate going. I had 10 this year and I regret all but Nashville. It's the only one I liked. I made my money back. I got to talk to people. Generally, I like going to them. I don't like having a table at them. And it's not that I don't like talking to people, because obviously I don't mind talking. But at most of the cons, they're too loud, too busy, and I can't really get my point across. And it's just very stressful, very frustrating, and I hate it. Hate it. Sorry, guys. I've been yelled at by other creators. Like, how can you hate it? It's the best
I'm
part.
trying to think. Uh, the last big one I did was probably Baltimore, and it was loud, and it is loud. It is loud, but I enjoy like you said. I like to talk, so I like talking to the people. I like talking to people. What makes me feel good is when somebody walks by and they kind of see my book and they do like,
Yeah.
like they're just
Yeah.
they're
Okay.
still walking this
It's a
way, but
rush
their
to get a
head is
smell.
this
Yeah.
way. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoy, because that's what I look for. So if you
Yeah.
walk by my table and you're looking, that's when I go, I'm like,
Until you
you don't
trip
have to,
them, right?
I'm like, you don't have to hurt your neck. You can come over
Yeah.
and say
Yeah.
hi to
Come
me.
over.
Like,
Yeah.
don't, you can take a look, so I personally enjoy that.
Yeah.
I hate Kickstarters because it's nerve-wracking for me, because it's like, especially because like and
I
it's
could
all in
back out
bursts.
at any time.
Not even that's not even the backing out doesn't bother me. It's more like, okay, you start the Kickstarter and it's like you get a solid burst in
Oh
like
yeah.
maybe the first 2 days, and
Yeah.
then you're stuck on like one, and then you're just begging and pleading for people to come, give you money. Whereas, for
I'm familiar.
and it's like I don't have the patience or the tolerance for it. So I've only done Heat, the graphic novel, 3. I've
I've
done
done
3 Kickstarters. I know
6.
apparently you've done,
Yeah. I think I've done 6.
so I've done 3 in the last 10 years.
Wow. Did they fund?
So the first one I ever did, and I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. The first Kickstarter I ever did, I put insanely stupid goal.
Ah.
It was like $10,000 or some crazy amount, and I only made like 2,300.
Yeah,
So it
that's more than I
failed
made my first
miserably.
one.
Right, but it failed miserably. I was just like, oh my god. And so I was like, okay. So I did the same thing, and then I did it again, but then I did like $2,000, and then it funded it, but it was like pulling teeth,
Yeah.
because I had to literally go back to the people who did, plus I didn't have the platforms and the background and the networking that I have now. Like now I have like this long list of emails that I can send it out to, plus people who watch this show, people watch my other podcast, people who see me in cons. I can, if I did a Kickstarter now, I could probably get $2,000 real easy. But back then it was like I was stressing out. But I did fund, and then the next one I think I only did like $2,000, and then this last one I think I did 3. But then it gets frustrating, because it's like once you hit your goal, then Kickstarter takes that little bit, and it's like, but I needed that little bit. So now
Yes.
you have to, and it's just a constant learning process for me. But it doesn't have the instant gratification of, here's my book. You want my book? Okay, you give me money, take my book, you walk away happy. I'm glad I have the money. It's in my account. Yay, everybody's happy. Like that's, and then the way you do your Kickstarters, you stack them. I stack cons. So like, in a month I'll do 2 or 3 cons. And so I'm just, stacking the finances to keep moving. I can't do Kickstarters. Like
But I
I'm
can.
gonna I'm
We're
planning on
also
doing
we should just split it and do one
I,
comic, and then you do the cons and I'll do this. We should have did that, but
I would love it if I could find somebody that loved doing Kickstarters and they wanted to do it for me. I would be like, here you go, and then just
yeah,
I'll do the artwork, I'll do the work, and you take care of all that. I'm not
yeah,
doing anything.
yeah.
I can't because every day you're just looking at that thing, kind of hoping you can will it to go across. I hate
Oh
that.
yeah. The worst though is when it goes down. Like I feel
Oh,
like people only pledge at night while I'm sleeping, but they also only back out at night. So it's like I had one person um this time had a bought the $70 tier, then they lowered it to 20, and then a week later they canceled it. So, yeah. Last time I had somebody do $130 tier, and then every week it lowered until it was finally at like 15. So yeah, it's a little stressful. It's every time, like you said, pulling teeth trying to get it. I stress every time. But then after it's over, I don't know what to do with my life. So
oh, I know what to do. Nothing. I do absolutely
so
nothing.
yeah, no. I mean my whole life is so my full-time job, um I say full-time, but I really I cram I have my own business, so I cram 5 days into 3 days. So I bust my butt for 2 to 3 days a week.
And then
Um,
do your
and
comics for
then
the
and then
rest.
and then do the comics. My co-writer had had a broken hand for the last. She just got better, so I was having complete withdrawals because she was she is 4 chapters behind, so I can't write any further because I can't get too far ahead or it's too far. So I have to wait. So she finally today had sent me 3,000 words, and I wrote 1,000 back so far. So I'll have to. And then so she gave it to me an hour before the show, and then I was like, all right, kicked my husband out of the room, and I started writing, and then I came down here. So in 40 minutes, I got about 1,200. Wasn't ideal, but yeah. So hopefully I could do more tomorrow. So, and you disappeared. Where did you go? Well, hopefully you'll come back. For anyone watching, I don't know if I can even be seen or if it's me that's there. Is it me or you?
Nope, that was me. Sorry,
Okay.
the
No,
dog
that's okay.
barking was
Because
driving me
I'm
crazy.
plugged in. I have a wire that goes through my house. It used to work without the wire.
Nope, you're good. That was me.
Yeah.
That was me. But yeah, I mean, I get, and then I get frustrated because I see like other people who will like start a Kickstarter and they'll have like 5 grand
Yep.
the
My
first day,
friend.
and I'm just like, oh my god, what am I doing wrong?
My friend Lori,
Oh,
and
Foster.
Lori, no, Lori, Cacatella, which does Path of the Pale Rider. Well, she has a zombie and cowboy western
Oh
story.
wow.
It's awesome. She just ended. We actually cross promoted, but $6,500. And she has the same amount of backers now. She has this time was more backers, but last time we had the same amount of backers, but I had 3 grand and she had 6 grand. So her fans are definitely more well off than mine. I have loyal fans.
And I'm always trying to figure out how do I get because when I go to cons, I can go and sell 30, 40, 50 books. And I'm just like, okay, well, how do I get that audience, that amount in Kickstarter? And I'm trying to like, and I'm like, is it me? Like, do they just like me? Like, get the book because they like me?
Like my books need to be sold. Like they cannot sit on a shelf at comic book stores. They just don't. Someone has to talk you into it. You know, like tell you the story, explain what's going on. So without me being able to explain it on shows or the Kickstarter being able to explain it, I would not have a lot of. So I don't do good in comic book stores. So when I'm at cons, I have to pitch it every single time, and I'm
Well, I
not
mean,
very good
yeah, I
at it
get that.
because I get nervous or I can't be heard. So like I went to the Lexington con, huge con. It was like 2 buildings, loud. You could not even hear your self-talk. So I couldn't pitch. So I literally made no sales on the Saturday, and I just left Sunday because I was annoyed. But the small local cons, I do amazing. Especially local where they know me, they'll pop in and it's always nice to see. I gotta be honest with you. It's part of the dyslexia, or just my memory. Supposedly it's part of the dyslexia, but I don't remember anybody. Like I know who they are, but I can't remember where I saw them last. I don't know if I met them online or at a book signing or at another con. Usually I can get it out of them when I can, like they'll kind of give hints away and be like, oh, when are you going to the next book signing? Oh, book signing, right? So like, but yeah,
I'm
so I
pretty
have a
good with
horrible memory.
faces. Yeah, I'm
Huh?
pretty good with faces. I'll be like, I know you, and they'll be like, yeah. And
Yeah, no,
I'm pretty good for the most part.
dyslexics are known for remembering the face but never the name. It's very accurate.
Well,
Um,
I'm not dyslexic reading. I'm dyslexic numerically.
I am too. I'm actually worse with numbers. Like I don't. So this is why they didn't know that I was dyslexic. I don't see words backwards. I have every other trait. My numbers get switched. I can't sound it out. Um, I get like I lose the context of the sentence. I have to read it over. Like I used to read novels all the time, but sometimes I'd have to read the sentence over again. So I had every other symptom of it, but seeing the letters
Really?
switch. Yeah. But numbers, like I worked in accounting, so that was not good. But like I remember looking at a zip code for 7 times, making sure it's correct, sending it with my friend, and she writes me, she calls me, she goes, it wasn't right. I was like, I checked it like 7 times. So especially verbally, like I
Oh
cannot do
God.
verbal numbers.
Look, my wife loves to she'll start talking numbers because
Yeah.
she does. My wife does some real estate stuff. She'll be like, well, if you get $200,000 and da 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 da, and I'm like, I don't know if she's expecting me to remember this or keep track of this, but
Yeah.
I'll just keep listening. Yeah, I switch numbers and like I stare at numbers. Like I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
just make that's a 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Okay, and then like that. So it takes me a while to do stuff. So, but reading, I'm good. So I wonder if the remember it. Like I don't remember names.
Yes, that's
Like,
part of the dyslexia. It's
really?
you remember the faces, but not the names. I don't
Oh,
know.
I didn't know that.
So another thing about dyslexics it's very, very common to either be
I'm learning stuff.
always late or always on time at the dot. That I'm the always on time, the dot. Like no matter what I'm doing, I wind up on time.
Yeah, I try to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dyslexic thing. I don't know how the correlation of that works. Yeah. So it's certain things like that, and other things that again are common but not always. When you're reading or doing something on the screen, sometimes you see movement on the other side. I don't know if you ever had that. I get it. But you think there's a movement in the corner of your eye or something. Not enough where you think there's a ghost, but it's just you get distracted easily. So I get that a lot. So
I'm gonna pay attention for that now.
Yeah, I didn't realize I did it until I read it.
Wow,
Then I'm like, oh. So what helps me is I have to turn the TV on YouTube and then pause it because for some reason pausing it, my mind knows it stopped, and I don't know if that helps. But another thing is, so we're generally obsessed with time, which I drove my parents crazy. I don't care how long it takes, but I want to know how long it takes. So I used to ask my parents all the time, how long is this going to take? When are you going to get back? When are you coming? Whatever. And she's like, why? I got somewhere to be. I was like, I don't know. Just want to know. So that was always a tricky thing. But time.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah.
I'm always asking my wife, like, what time did my son wake up? And she's like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know the correlation between that. I just know that it's one of them. Also, video games are for some reason very popular with dyslexics. But so there was the questionnaire I took. You had to have 10 things to be dyslexic, and I had 38. So I guess I'm a little dyslexic. But yeah, I never had the mixed letters. I can see a word. But and word problems. We can't do word problems in math. So I was amazing at math, but I could not do word problems.
I couldn't do any math. Math. Well, no one knew what numerically dyslexic was.
Yeah.
Well, they probably knew what it was, but when I was in high school, it nobody ever thought, well, maybe he has an issue with,
Yeah.
just the numbers. So
Also,
I like failed math.
yeah.
What, my freshman year? Was it my freshman year I failed math? I think my freshman year I failed math. I had to go to summer school. Came back, made it through summer school. Actually, I had to go to summer school and get a tutor.
Yeah.
And then I had to, yeah. So I had to do summer school and a tutor during the summer. And then I came back the next grade and I failed again. And so
I
and so I had to redo and then I redid the class, did it over again, passed it, and then I passed like the last course needed for graduation by like the skin of my teeth. Math and me do not go along.
yeah. So word problems I couldn't do, spelling I couldn't do, and I
Spelling
don't.
I'm great.
Yeah, and I couldn't do states and capitals, and I don't know why it was, but I could never get them. I still don't know them. I barely know mine, but yeah, there's a lot of things with dyslexia that people normally wouldn't think about, and I didn't even know for the longest time, but yeah, I'm very dyslexic. But numbers. So I do a mobile business, so I have to get addresses and phone numbers all the time. However, I learned right away to never answer the phone. I only do texting because I have all the evidence right there. I have because people would say their address is too fast, and I it doesn't. They'll say numbers, they'll say, whatever. So it just worked out that I text everything. And at first everyone's like, that's pretty unprofessional. It's a lifesaver. Not only that, is when you give a quote out, I have proof that that's what I said. You can't say, but you said it was doing so. No, I didn't. It's right here. So I actually have it on my answer machine or voicemail. I'm old answer machine on the voicemail that you will only receive a text back. And I've been doing that for 6 years.
Okay.
Oh, and the story that I want to tell you, I feel so bad about this.
No, go ahead, and then we'll hit us to the story, and then we'll do the video.
Yeah, perfect.
And then, because I don't want to hold you, because I know you got some places to be.
Well, I
So
remember I
go
told
ahead.
you that I
I'm
got a
listening.
free banner.
Right.
What happened was, remember I told you there's two sizes. There's the 60 and the 80.
Right.
So I opened it, and my husband, there's a pole, and my husband and I pulled on it. We tried to pull it apart, everything, nothing would work. So I figured they gave me the 60-inch one instead, because that's how much I measured it. That's what it was. So I called them up and I said, I can't get the pole to get any larger. I can't pull it out. I think they gave me the 60-inch one. She goes, oh, okay. So they sent it to me, and they sent me another one. Same thing. I was like, there's no way. So I'm on the phone with her a third time, and I was like, I don't understand why this won't open or what's wrong with it. And while I'm telling her this, my finger slips on this plastic piece and it like snaps and it unlocks and you can pull the pole out. But I didn't know that, and she didn't know that. And I said, well, I just realized that because she's about to send me another one. So I'm glad I stopped her. But I'm just like, I think I figured it out. And I said, I am so sorry. Do you want me to pay for the other one? And she's like, well, they didn't know to tell you. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, but I'll tell you so you know. She goes, yeah, how do you open it? I was like, you unlock the plastic, you pull it apart and stretch it, and then you put it in the back and push it up. So pulling it up, we couldn't get it up. So you have to push it up, and then you have to lock it in place. So yeah, I have a free banner. So.
That's all right though. Hey, listen, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. I'm actually gonna look into that because I need a new banner. I was telling you my banner is old. I've had it since 2013. It's a while. It's 2015. Excuse me, 2015. I had it since 2015. It's cumbersome. It's clunky.
This is great, man. It folds up. You just
I know. That's
awesome.
what I'm saying. I got to get with it. It's one of many purchases I need to make.
Yeah. So,
all right. So you want to show your video?
Yeah. So you want it to be the last thing. So I'll just
let me see if I can do it.
Yeah, if not, I can probably do it.
Let me see if you guys can hear.
But if anyone wants to find me on Kickstarter, besides the link, the easiest way is to search Worthy Chaos. I am the only thing that pops up.
Okay. All right, we're gonna give this a shot. All right, share. All right. Here, can you see it?
I could see it. Yeah.
All right. So this is the video for Worthy Chaos's Redemption. Number 7.
Yeah, so the first minute is or less than a minute is the summary for issue 7, and then it's going to start over and show you 1 through 6, so that people could see a summary.
All right, let's go. Original music. All right, that was awesome. Alexa, stop.
20-minute timer. Stop.
Alexa, stop. All right, sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right, that was awesome. Awesome.
you.
Good to see. So listen, the website is below, theworthychaos.com. Go support Worthy Chaos's redemption. You're gonna get a crap load of books, apparently.
Yeah.
So if you like a long read, a nice little binge watch, you got to get to it. Thank you, Corissa. Is it Corissa or Corissa?
Corissa, yep.
Corissa. Thank you, Corissa. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, absolutely. And I wish you best of luck. And I hope everything works through. And I'm pretty sure we'll see each other again. I'm definitely going to talk to you because since you're the queen of merch, I need some ideas.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I will be messaging you very soon.
Awesome. I'll be back for book 2.
All right, let's do it. Thank you all for stopping by another episode of a Stoked podcast, Creative Talk for Creative People. Guys, have a great evening, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, unless I see you at East of the River Con or FSK Con. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.